You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
U.S. Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why U.S. Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident panelist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_data. So if that timing was off, I apologize. Here's another one of the weird things with this new recording thing. I can't hear the intro anymore. I used to be able to hear it, and then I would just come in whenever. What I started doing is just playing it and then lining up the intro where it's supposed to be. Like I'd listen to it, be like, okay, it needs to be at, I think, 7 seconds or 7.5 seconds. I can't remember which one. This time, I started it, and I played the song in my own head. And I tried to just get it at the right time. I probably missed it. I shouldn't miss it. I shouldn't, unless I just panicked or whatever. I've done it so many times, I should be able to have the timing down without even hearing it. But anyways, interesting little note that nobody cares about. So, very weird day today. I was working on Packernet After Dark because I wanted to finish that from the day before, which I didn't finish. And I was like, all right, we got all this stuff we're going to talk about. It's going to be great. And then I start seeing reports about stuff happening in training camp. And I'm like, I thought there wasn't training camp. And I was like, well, maybe this is just the second day, and I don't know what day it is anymore. I can't keep anything straight. And then I checked it, and I checked our Packernet schedule, and I'm like, okay, today is the 8th, and they have practiced the 6th and the 7th and not on the 8th. So, well, that's weird. And I was like, well, maybe we messed this up, and I've been saying it wrong this whole time. So I went and checked Packernet.com, or excuse me, Packers.com, not Packernet.com, although it's a great website. And they have the dates listed as the 6th and the 7th, and then nothing until the 13th. So this caught me off guard a little bit. I don't know the depth and breadth of this. Maybe it's just a real quick little, hey, we're going to do a couple things and get out of here. That's probably what it is. I don't know. Haven't looked at it yet. I'm going to be just as surprised as you. But little change of plans as we apparently go through some news and notes for training camp. So we'll start with that. We'll see where that leads us. Hopefully we have time to discuss some of the other topics that I have on the docket. If not, then not. All right, for starters, just kind of backing up a little bit, trying to catch some of the other news and notes that are going on. Rodgers did not participate. I guess it was raining or storming or something, and Salah's like, I'm not putting you out there, which, whatever, man. I don't know. The whole Jets thing annoys me. It's really not Rodgers. I hate that team. I never really cared, but just watching how incompetent they are, everything they do now annoys me. It's probably one of those things, too, where when they do things that's not even bad, I just see it as bad because I just don't respect them at all. So they pull Rodgers because of weather and they put everybody else out there, and I'm just like, that's stupid. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's smart. Maybe you're just protecting your franchise, whatever. Okay, fine. But you're stupid, and so you did it, so therefore I think it's stupid. I don't know, man. I don't think any of that is good. I don't like that team at all. But let's get to Matt LaFleur's press conference. From Paul Brettel, it says, he seems to be doing well this morning, said LaFleur about Watson, adds that he got hit on the knee but should practice today. Skip forward a little bit. I did see that he was practicing. I didn't see everything, but I saw that. So he's doing fine. So all the speculation about him and everything, that's We'll see if we get into it today or not. We'll see how long this takes. I didn't really delve into it, but I'm sure you saw it. A lot of disappointment from ESPN Milwaukee or whatever it was about Christian Watson and how he left practice early because he had a boo-boo, he had a bruise. It's like, my Lord, man. I just, first of all, that's not true. None of that is true. But beyond that, no, I mean, he was in a lot of pain, and then practice was over, and then he walked it off, and then life went on. That was the end of this frickin' story. Matt LaFleur says that Sean will get more reps than Pratt, which makes me sad, but I think we've all observed that already, so, you know, it is what it is. Said the Watson thing was a big-time scare, obviously, but he's doing fine. No long-term concern with Jaden Reed, who has a calf injury, per Matt LaFleur, which, again, I don't trust any time they say, oh, it's not going to be long-term. You don't know, okay? You're going off the what the trainers are telling you, and I don't think they know, right? I'm sure they have a lot of experience, and you know, generally these things do this, that, or the other, but you know, as of right now, Jaden Reed's hurt, and I don't know any more information than that, so we will see. Says that Josh Jacobs is getting more comfortable with what they're asking him to do, so that's nice. Oh, and Nick Foles retired, so there's that. It's one of those things, I hate to even say it, but I didn't even know he was still in the NFL. I didn't really think about it. If you'd have told me he had retired, I'd have been like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. I didn't know, but yeah, I guess he is retiring. So congrats to him for all that he achieved. Shockingly, one of the more accomplished quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. He's in a very exclusive club. Made a ton of money, mostly as a backup, very briefly as a Super Bowl champion. So what a life that guy's had. Oh, and Sam Monson is going to be leaving PFF and going over to 33rd team. That's pretty interesting. Oh, wait, they're both leaving? I don't know. Whatever. That's pretty crazy. They're 17 years at PFF. They were basically there from day one. By the way, hilariously, the Jets offense without Rodgers is having their absolute best day of the entire year so far. Connor Hughes just quote tweeted something. He said, Wilson is having his best practice this summer right now. Potential quarterback controversy in New York. Should Tyrod start getting first team reps? I don't know if that's a serious thing or a joke or what, but Connor Hughes says, did Rodgers just get Wally pipped? Looked up the history. I mean, I understand the context, but I looked up the history of it. Apparently, Pip had a headache and asked if he could just sit for a game, and Lou Gehrig took his place, and the rest is history. So, no, I'm not actually suggesting that's going to happen, but it is pretty wild. The offense is just, it's one after the other. 50-yard completion, touchdown, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, so today is no pad day. Jaden Reed is outside practicing with the team. Helton Jenkins appears to have a rest day. Hopper is out with an ankle injury, I guess. Reed and Watson both out on the field. Starters in the walkthrough period, you got Love at quarterback, Jacobs at running back, Kraft at tight end, Reed, Dobbs, Melton at wide receiver. You've got, so again, Melton as the third guy again, this time in replacement of Christian Watson. Walker, Newman, Myers, Ryan, and Tom on the offensive line. Smith, Slayton, Clark, and Gary on the defensive line. McDuffie, Quay, Stokes, Nixon, Jair, and Bullard, X. So the defense is exactly as it has been. The offense, mostly due to injuries and rest days or whatever, is kind of a little jaggered up. Some other players observed rotating in with the ones. You got Wicks, Watson, Inigbare, Eric Wilson, Wyatt, Van Ness, AJJ, Williams, Brooks, Sims, Musgrave, Dillard. So pretty much everybody's getting a crack with the ones. They got DeBose and Heath both on the field as gunners. So as Andy Herman points out, this could go a long way in determining who wide receiver 6 is, assuming both of these guys are not going to be kept, obviously. Determining which one of them is a better special teamer makes sense. So I think the highlight of this, I've seen several clips of it, and right out of the gate we're seeing it. Jeff Hafley is hands-on with the corners, especially working on his press technique. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to jump on social media on X specifically and go look at some of the videos because, you know, I can't do it through the audio thing that we're doing, I mean, you can listen to it, but it wouldn't be as interesting. Just seeing him really, as I've said before, this coaching staff now really drilling down the specific details. Rather than just glossing over like, okay, press is press, like you can go press them up in this play, and then, it's exactly which foot goes where, when, and why, and all that stuff. They even worked on like, one of them appears to be, if I remember specifically how he likes to do things, is dictate which way they're going, right? So depending on the defensive call, we may want to force them back into the inside. So, kind of work on that. And if they're able to get the outside release, then this, that, or the, it's all sort of process of elimination, trying to dictate as much as you can and figure out what exactly they're going to be doing. And so just seeing sort of on that the specific detail just of how I want you to engage in press. And it's been multiple days of this that we've seen with different coaches. And it's, depending on a play call, where I want you to line up exactly across from the guy, how I want your feet, which foot moves first, which hand goes where, push off your right foot, hit with your left hand, every little detail. And I'm hopeful, we'll see if it amounts to anything, but I'm very hopeful that all this work gets to be so repetitive in their head so that they don't have to think. They can just go do and start making plays on the field. That is the hope. Jaden Reed is out there running routes and catching balls, so I'm guessing he's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be good enough for a preseason game. That may not be the case. We're dropping like flies here, not in terms of actual injuries, but the amount of guys that are maybe too injured to play. We'll see what his status is. I mean, we're going to need bodies at some point, so hopefully he can play at least a little bit. Comment from Andy Herman. He says, probably my favorite moment of any practice so far, Halfley coaching up the corners on press technique. What an absolute master of a teacher. His ability to be engaging, the technical coaching, and just the energy was amazing. At the end, he thanks the DBs for letting them be a DB, for letting him, I'm just presuming, be a DB coach again, to which Ja fires back, now get out of here, Half. So, I mean, the bottom line is, look, being a head coach, what he was in college, was a lot of administrative stuff. And I'm sure being a DC is, there's a lot more coaching involved, certainly, which I think he's going to enjoy. But there's still a lot of, game planning and it's administrative to a large degree. So he's excited to be able to be like, let me do it, and really coach these guys up and show them, like, I want to go hit the pads and show them how to do it. And so he's he's just excited, having fun out there in the corners. Like, all right, dude, now get out of here, go be a defensive coordinator. Herman says, Jalen Wayne gets a rep with the ones, goes deep, and Love hits him for a wide open touchdown. I should add that they are rotating absolutely everyone around. There were no defenders, and it was at a snail's pace. But other than that, huge play. Sean Ryan gets first-team reps with Jordan Morgan out because of shoulder injury. First rep, Ryan false starts. Rookie Jacob Monk now with starting offensive line at right guard. Oh, jeez. Oh, goody. Starters in the team phase of this, you got Love and Jacobs. You got Wicks and DeBose, interestingly enough, at wide receiver. Musgrave and Sims, so we're going, two tight ends. Walker, Newman, Myers, Ryan, and Tom are your offensive line, which makes sense. Then you have Gary, Wyatt, Clark, and Enigbare, so subbing in Enigbare and putting Wyatt next to Clark. Wilson, Quay, McDuffie still at linebacker. Nixon, Stokes at corner. We've been seeing quite a bit of that. With the Nixon playing along with as a boundary guy. I don't know if we're just pulling Jair just to give him a rest or what the situation is, but it's interesting. And then McKinney and Bullard at safety, and then he goes on to say first play Ryan false starts and is replaced by Monk. So for everybody yelling at me about how they think Ryan is going to win the job, he's just trying to hang on to that number 2 spot as of right now. Start of team, defense stuffs Jacobs. Love fires incomplete downfield to Musgrave, who is well covered, ball overthrown as well. Don't start again, Love. Yesterday was your one bad day. You start off bad again today. Jacobs was stuffed on the next play as well. Love had Dobbs on a deep crosser, but Love just missed him wide. Good start for the defense. Come on, Love, hang in there. Don't do it to me. According to Wes Hodkiewicz, Sean Ryan working as the number 2 snapper today. Newman and Monk, number 1 guards, with Jenkins getting a rest day. Brenton Cox stacking success. After a nice day yesterday, he starts with a tackle for a loss today. He's doing a really good job setting the edge. Carl Brooks follows it up with an easy pressure inside. Clifford got it out quick to Davis, but might have been a sack. Lucas Van Ness and Brooks all over a Lloyd run in the backfield, defense dominating up front early. Nice little Lloyd run to the right, running behind Telfort and Tenuta, showed off his burst. Wilson follows it up with a nice run inside. Quick update on the Jets. Rodgers will not play in the first 2 games. They're unsure about the third game, whether or not they're going to put him in or not. Carlson and Joseph kicking today. Both start 3 for 3 in round 1 of kicking. Looks like it was 40, 47, and 49, all of them on the left hash. So that puts Greg Joseph, his percentage at 86.3. It puts Alex Hale at 83.3 and Anders Carlson at 80.4. Back of the end zone touchdown for Bo Melton in red zone. Odd sequence on the next play leads to a Stokes interception. Haven't had one of those in a while. Haven't had a pick in a couple of whatevers. So good to have Stokes back on the board. Not great that it was Jordan Love, but we'll get there. Matt Schneidman says, low red zone drill, and Love hits Melton for a touchdown back middle with a dart. Melton playfully dances in Jeff Hafley's face, and Hafley smacks him in the helmet with his play sheet. Next play, Love scrambles and gets picked off by Stokes in the end zone, lobbing one up for Watson. Ryan Wood says Eric Stokes picks off Jordan Love in the end zone from inside the 5-yard line. Love rolled right, trying to connect with Christian Watson, but pass went straight to Stokes. Now 17 picks in camp for the Packers defense, 7 from Jordan Love. So I'm less concerned about picks generally as it is, Jordan just starting to stack bad days. Just hang in there, man. Come on. Herman seeming to want to blame Watson for the interception. He says Stokes came up with a pick intended for Watson. Not sure if Watson didn't see it, but he didn't make a play for the ball. Carl Brooks with another big-time pressure. Wicks touchdown on the next play at the goal line with McKinney in coverage. Carl Brooks with another immediate pressure. Loves throws to Sims, but Lucas Van Ness in coverage gets a PI call. Huge day for Brooks already. By the way, I'm fully aware that the pressure is part of this, but Jordan Love has managed it all camp. That's been I've praised him for that repeatedly, the fact that pressure doesn't get to him. He's either going to stand in the pocket and deliver the strike, or he's going to break the pocket and make a great play. Maybe it's just, starting to get to him. I don't know. But just saying, just hang in there. You got this. You're talented enough to handle this. And massive props to the defense, by the way, for just being all over everything, draped all over the receivers, in the quarterback's face every second. They deserve a ridiculous amount of credit. And there we go. Both kickers go 6 for 6. So Joseph and Carlson both 6 for 6 on the day. That total now has us at Greg Joseph is 47 of 54, 87%. He's pushing back to 90. Alex Hale again, 5 of 6, 83.3%. Anders Carlson is now 44 of 54, 81.5%. So he's back into the 80s and climbing. And those were from, 49, 50, and 51. All of those made. So, and again, remember, in camp, there's a lot more longer kicks. Very rarely are you getting the 30-some yard kicks, right? Or the extra point kicks. It's a lot of 45 plus, several in the 50 range. So when you're doing 3 50-yard kicks in a row, the percentages are going to be lower than what you get generally in the NFL. Aaron Nagler talking up my boy. He says, I'm very excited to see Kalen King in game action. He's looked the part so far and plays with a physicality that pops, even in thud sessions. He is. He's just a physical guy. That's the way he plays. Clifford fits in a nice pass to Heath through traffic in the middle of... talk about a guy that's had a bounce back. Clifford was just an absolute disaster. I haven't seen hardly anything negative in the last maybe 3 or 4 camps. Since family night, he's done really nothing catastrophic. He hasn't thrown any picks, at least not yet. Hopefully I didn't just jinx him. Another nice play by Brenton Cox with a pressure on Clifford. Nice hands by Lloyd to come up with a leaping catch on a bubble screen, but defense all over it. Heads up play by Bo Melton. He was supposed to go in motion, but the tight end started to go in motion on accident. Tight end got lined up correctly so Bo could go in motion, but Bo wisely waves it off because the play clock was winding down and they wouldn't have been able to get the play in time. And then Wick's end around goes nowhere. Quinn commented on that, and he says, has there been a single successful screen pass during training camp? I think that is a very fair question because I don't know the answer to that. False start for the first play of team earlier by Sean Ryan was costly. Jacob Monk has been in that spot in team ever since. So first play, he goes out and gets a false start and just I mean, I don't want to say he might have officially lost his job, but it's not impossible that just happened. Love drops one in the bucket for Lloyd, but it's well contested by McDuffie. Both players tip the ball up a couple times. Lloyd comes up with the catch, but out of bounds by the time he came up with it. All right, let's take a break. We're coming up on 20 minutes here. We'll take a break. We'll see how much is left of this. We should be winding up pretty soon. Kickers are all done and everything. But we will be right back.
U.S. Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why U.S. Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
This episode is brought to you by our good friends at NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. I'm sure by now you've all gotten back into your Sunday routines, but they could be even better. With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get the most live NFL games all in one place, every game, every Sunday. And you can even watch up to 4 different games at once with multi-view, one of my favorite inventions of this decade. It's exactly what you need to catch all the action. Make your Sundays more magical. And also, YouTube TV is great. I got it this year. It's awesome. Sign up now at youtube.com/BS. Device and content restrictions apply. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
When it comes to towing, seeing is believing. That's why Chevy Truck's advanced camera technology offers up to 8 available cameras for 14 unique views, so you can focus on the view that really matters. Chevrolet, together let's drive. Learn more about Chevy Trucks at Chevy.com. Safety or driver assistance features are no substitute for the driver's responsibility to operate the vehicle in a safe manner. Read the Vehicle Owner's Manual for important feature limitations and information.
Nagler says, Monk is playing right guard with the ones in the move the ball period. Expect him to get an extended look on Saturday. I mean, I don't want to say I've written off Monk, but I just, it doesn't seem as though there's an expectation by the team that he's going to do very much. You know, once in a while a guy is really just a phenomenal player, and you just know about it. You know, they pop off the tape, they're moving up the boards, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't heard a single word about Monk from the coaches or otherwise. It's not impossible that Monk ends up being a decent enough football player. I'm not saying Hall of Famer, but, you know, we could get another Runyon. I know Runyon was real bad last year, but for several years he was solid. If Monk can be a Runyon, we're set. I'll take a non-2023 Runyon any day of the week. That guy was steady Eddie, man. So I'm excited to get a look at these guys in preseason. Excited to go through the PFF stats and overanalyze everything. It's going to be great. Pressure by Enigbare, maybe a sack. Love throws anyway, completes to Wicks over the middle. Love follows it up with a bullet to Musgrave over the middle, who makes a fantastic hands catch in stride. AJJ with good coverage, but just tip your cap to that one. See, that's the offense we want to see, man. Took a little while to get him rocking, but that's what I'm talking about. There's pressure, don't give a crap, throwing a laser, great play by the receiver. It's another thing that needs to get picked up. Like, if the ball's there, please don't drop it. Having a good day today so far. No pads, but another disruptive practice for Kingsley Enigbare. The Reverend Jesse Jackson was at the Bears practice today. That's a new one. I haven't heard of that one before. He visited with Matt Eberflus, Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles, and George McCaskey after attending Bears practice. All right. Jordan Love appears to be walking gingerly after getting knocked to the ground during 11-on-11. Head trainer Brian Engel playing with his left knee. Love was grabbing the back of his left leg. Appears to be very minor. I repeat, appears to be very minor. I just want to know who knocked him to the ground and how quickly we can get him off the frickin' team. We do have confirmation. Caleb Williams will be playing Saturday afternoon against Buffalo, so that's an exciting thing. For me, anyways. I don't know if you care, but I care. Couple nice runs by Ellis Merriweather. Lacita Smith on the ground for the second time today on a run play. Pratt finds Joel Wilson but can't hang on. That's been an issue for Wilson, who is finding ways to get open consistently. Practice is over. Short one today. Preseason game 1 up next. I don't know why nobody mentioned that aside from Schneidman. I feel like something is very weird about, like, did nobody else notice that or what? But similar to yesterday with Christian Watson, there's video of him walking perfectly fine. He's not surrounded by trainers or anything. He's just, putting his helmet away and everything else, taking his jersey off. So he seems to be perfectly fine, but that's just the kind of stuff. And I'm sure it was just, he got bumped into or whatever by, somebody got pushed into him. I don't know, but it's the kind of thing, man. If I'm the coach, everybody's got, hold on, you're not leaving yet. Get in here. I don't give a crap what happened. Don't go near the freaking quarterback. Got it? Well, might as well start with this. Again, I have no idea who this person is. They seem to be right about the Jordan Love thing, so I'll just keep rolling with it. He's been hammering this thing about Ayuk going to the Steelers, which is yet to happen. So we'll see. But then he posted this. I was quiet this morning because I was wallpapering a nursery. The agent representing John Lynch and Brandon Ayuk was at Raiders camp yesterday. Niners want a receiver. Devontae Adams is rumored to be available for a trade. Why are the Niners looking for a wide receiver? He says it may not be Devontae they're targeting, but maybe someone in that division. I'm assuming he's alluding to the fact that they want a wide receiver because Brandon Ayuk is leaving. To further his belief that to me, I couldn't give a crap. I'm more interested in the fact that you just said Devontae is available for trade, which I don't know. The whole thing seems sketchy to me. I wouldn't take this as gospel. But again, the guy has hit on a couple things, so who knows? All right, that's all I've got for training camp. I've got a ton of little notesy things left over. It's going to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We've been going through this training camp thing, and it's all just been very matter of fact. This happened, that happened, et cetera, et cetera. My thoughts on this happening and that happening. But I haven't called anybody stupid in a while, I just... It's not the Packernet Podcast if I'm not just calling people out, right? And this is a perfectly symbiotic relationship. There's no reason for anybody to be upset about me saying these things. They know they're saying stupid things. They're doing it to get clicks, and they're getting clicks, and they're also getting additional exposure by me. So I understand I'm contributing to that, and that's fine. It is a symbiotic relationship, man. It's like one of those fish that swims in a shark's mouth and picks all the crap out of its teeth. The little fish gets fed and the big fish gets its teeth cleaned. It's a nice little relationship. The only thing I ask in return is that I get to call you stupid for saying stupid stuff, which is fair because you're deliberately saying stupid stuff. All right, here we go. This one I thought was incredible. Incredible. Caleb Williams, as you know, is a new Chicago Bears quarterback. He's a supremely gifted athlete, quarterback, thrower of the football. There's no question about that. Doesn't mean he's going to be a great quarterback in the NFL, but he's certainly a scary prospect. From where I'm sitting, I think the Bears did the right thing. Obviously, they're sitting in there with the number 1 pick. It's sort of the slam dunk thing to do. All that is fine. To be even more clear, though, he has not taken a single snap in the NFL, not even a preseason snap, much less a regular season snap or played a season or anything like that. Here is John Middlecoff and his thoughts on the situation as to how the Bears came to acquire this and how massive, I guess, that it is.
The Bears trade with the Carolina Panthers will go down as the greatest transaction in the history of American sports. There is not a team in the history of football who would trade Caleb Williams for Bryce Young. The Panthers, obviously last year, would have taken Caleb Williams if he had been eligible to come out. We all said it.
To be clear, his argument so far is that nobody would trade Caleb for Bryce. Well, that's true because Caleb is an unknown who, even out of college, was expected to be a better prospect. And Bryce has put together an entire year on tape of being awful. If that's the standard, then why isn't what Jordan Love did to acquire, or what Gutekunst did to acquire Jordan Love, not in the same category as the greatest trade in NFL history? Because nobody would trade Bryce for Jordan either, right? So we're not gaining a lot of ground here in terms of, really making your case.
2 years ago. So they got an inferior player if it was just 1-to-1. If they get their starting punter, their starting quarterback, starting right tackle, starting left corner, and DJ Moore, but we're not done yet. We're not done. The trade is not over. They still have a 2025 second round pick coming. I think this will easily go down as the greatest trade, not in NFL history, in American history.
Okay. I'm going to assume that last part was just a misstep, because in the beginning he said American sports history. But just in case it wasn't a misstep, let's cover a couple things here. Let's take a look at American history, shall we? In 1803, the United States and the nation of France had a little deal. It was called the Louisiana Purchase. The United States acquired 827,000 square miles of land west of the Mississippi River from France for $15 million, doubling the size of the United States, considered one of the greatest land deals in the history of the world. Okay? There was also the Alaska Purchase in 1867, where they bought Alaska from Russia for $7.2 million, which is about 2 cents per acre. The Manhattan Island Purchase in 1626, when the Dutch settlers made a deal with the Lenape Native American tribe. They bought the Manhattan Island for goods that were worth about 60 guilders, which is often cited as about $24. $24 paid for what is now New York City. Manhattan was bought for $24. But no, Caleb Williams is bigger. The United States, in the Gadsden Purchase from Mexico, purchased a strip of land in present-day southern Arizona and southwestern New Mexico for $10 million, which facilitated the construction of the Southern Transcontinental Railroad and completed the contiguous United States. They bought the Virgin Islands from Denmark for $25 million. So, again, I'm assuming he didn't mean American history, because there were some pretty big trades in American history. Let's focus just on American sports history, okay? How about Mark McGwire going to the Cardinals? The Oakland Athletics sent him to the Cardinals. Anybody know Mark McGwire and what he did for the sport of baseball? I mean, granted, there's the whole steroids thing and everything else, but he went on to break the single-season home run record in 1998, where he hit 70 home runs. Okay? 70. So that was one trade. Also in 1997, the Red Sox acquired Pedro Martinez. He won 2 Cy Young Awards and helped the Red Sox end their 86-year World Series drought in 2004. More on that in a minute. How about Kobe Bryant to the Lakers in 1996? Anybody out there? Kobe Bryant. The Charlotte Hornets sent to the Lakers. They traded him and sent him away for Vlade Divac. He became one of the greatest players in NBA history, winning 5 championships and earning numerous accolades during his 20-year career with the Lakers. How about that? How about something maybe we're all familiar with? The trade that sent Brett Favre to the Green Bay Packers in 1992. The Packers traded a first-round pick for Brett Favre, who became the face of the franchise and one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. Favre led the Packers to 2 Super Bowl appearances, winning 1 and revitalizing the team after years of mediocrity, potentially saving the entire franchise, by the way. How about Nolan Ryan getting sent to the Angels? He went on to have a Hall of Fame career, became one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball history, known for his 7 no-hitters and 5,714 strikeouts in 1971. How about Bill Russell to the Celtics? Russell became the centerpiece of the Celtics dynasty, winning 11 championships and revolutionizing the game with his defensive prowess in 1956. How about the Milwaukee Bucks sending Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the Lakers? How about Wayne Gretzky going to the Kings? Known as The Trade, Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player of all time, was traded to the Kings in a blockbuster deal. The move not only transformed the Kings into a competitive team, but also significantly increased the popularity of hockey in the United States, particularly in non-traditional markets like California. How about the Herschel Walker trade? The Herschel Walker trade, where the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm assuming this is what he's alluding to, like this is the Herschel Walker trade, where they got all these pieces and now they're going to be a dynasty. Okay, they have to be a dynasty, though. The Herschel Walker trade actually built a dynasty. The Cowboys traded Herschel Walker to the Vikings for a package that included multiple players and a draft pick, and draft picks. The trade is often cited with helping the Cowboys build the dynasty in the 1990s, as they used the picks to draft key players like Emmitt Smith and Darren Woodson. And then, oh yeah, Babe Ruth to the Yankees in 1919. The Red Sox sent Babe Ruth to the Yankees for $100,000. The trade was often blamed for the curse of the Bambino, which is where the Red Sox didn't win like ever again until, that other trade. They didn't win a World Series for 86 years. Meanwhile, Ruth became a legend and helped the Yankees become one of the most successful franchises in sports history. And you're going to sit there and just flippantly talk about the Bears. This is going to go down as one of the greatest trades in American history, according to what you said at the end, or in sports history. It is such a stupid thing to say. Listen, there are a lot of trades that involve a lot of pieces. A lot of trades that involve a lot of pieces. This is a team that has struggled to get a winning record. And if their quarterback is not very good, this is going to be a garbage football team. Yes, one team got a very bad deal, and that's the Carolina Panthers, right? There have been a lot of teams that do you remember when the Houston Texans were just selling everybody off because their head coach / GM was a complete moron and it was just a fire sale and he was selling everybody for dirt cheap? That was just the team to do business with because they were stupid. And that right now apparently seems to be the Carolina Panthers. They're a stupid football team that you want to do business with because they do stupid things. And you're going to have a major winner and a really bad loser, right? I think Hopkins helped Arizona a lot. Not as much as these 10 examples I just gave, but it helped them a lot. And the Texans went on to be garbage. And then, of course, they traded. I mean, geez, you want to talk about a team losing? How about the quarterback getting sent to Cleveland? Right? It's just, it's such a stupid thing to say. It just is. I mean, look, the bottom line is the only way that statement ends up to becoming true is if the Bears go on to be a dominant force for the next 10 years with multiple Super Bowl championships. And, just built on the back of that trade. Then, yeah. But the gap between where they are right now and where they would need to be to check that box, bro, come on. They haven't played a game yet. And by the way, they had a lot of these pieces in place last year when they sucked. I don't know. And yeah, they have another second-round pick. Great, yeah, because they don't squander picks. And way to highlight that one of the picks that they got was a punter, and then list a bunch of other players that have done nothing in this trade. By the way, what do they have, 4 picks in the draft? How do you have this massive trade and then come into this with like 4 picks and spend 1 on a punter and 1 on a number 3 wide receiver? And then go acquire a 32-year-old wide receiver from another team. But yeah, no, definitely going to rival the Herschel Walker trade. And now we're going to see the Bears become the 1990 Dallas Cowboys. That's probably exactly what's going to happen. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Well done. Astute analysis. I love it. This is Louisiana Purchase big. This is huge, right? We bought Manhattan for $24. That's the kind of deal we're talking about here. Jeez. And again, if I may, This is just another example of what we've been dealing with since the Justin Fields era, where not only do the Bears get treated with kid gloves, which means you don't really criticize them. It's like if a little kid, again, a little kid comes home with a little macaroni piece of art from school, you don't really critique it. You don't honestly look at it and say, wow, this is crap. What is this? First of all, why would you use macaroni? Because there's all these random curves everywhere. Second of all, I mean, this doesn't look like anything. This is stupid. And has anybody taught you to color in the lines? And why is there glitter everywhere? Where does glitter exist in the real world? I don't think it exists. Does it? Is that supposed to be snow? This is stupid. You don't do that to a kid because it's a little kid. That's how we treat the Bears. So when the Bears do stupid stuff, we don't talk about it. That's not nice. You don't criticize them. And then when they do something that seems positive, you over-exaggerate how good it is. The Bears get treated like they're mentally challenged, honestly. It reminds me of the scene in The Office where they played a prank on Holly, the new HR rep, and said that Kevin was mentally challenged, and she believed it. And look at how she treated Kevin. And Kevin thought she was like flirting with him or whatever, and she was gonna, he was gonna get with her. And so then somebody starts yelling at him for not doing his job right, and she comes over and says, he is not stupid, he's mentally challenged, but he's doing a super job. I mean, the way Holly treated him, thinking that he was mentally ill, mentally challenged, is the way that the media treats the Chicago Bears. And listen, I get it. I understand why you would treat them like they're mentally challenged. Believe me, I get it. I'm watching what they're doing. But on some level, I think we need to acknowledge they're human beings. And they're not actually meant to, like, these are fully functioning human beings who are being paid lots of money to make really wise decisions. They're supposedly the best in the entire, not only are they not mentally challenged, they're some of the best in the entire world. And maybe we should treat them as such. Maybe we should treat them as not only elite athletes, but being an elite GM, an elite head coach and all that stuff. And when you see them do things that appear stupid, even to the untrained eye, such as us, that maybe it should be critiqued. And maybe they should be treated as though they're not complete morons, but that they're actually supposedly experts. And when we see non-expert things, maybe we should say that. And maybe we don't need to exaggerate how good very mediocre things are, because you're expected to be great. That's the expectation. If you're a great football team, that means you have all the right pieces. I believe in the Green Bay Packers because I think Brian Gutekunst is a special human being when it comes to being a GM, just like I think Matt LaFleur is special, and I think Jordan Love is special. And down the line, if you have special, you're going to be okay. If you got the quarterback, the coach, and the GM, you'll be okay. Can't promise you Super Bowls, but I can promise there's going to be a lot of wins, and there's going to be a lot of success, and it's going to be a lot of fun watching your team play football. And that's the expectation. And so treating a team as though they are that, as though they are this wildly successful, brilliant organization, when really they appear to be mentally challenged, doesn't really serve anybody. I don't know the benefit of it. I understand the clickbait aspect of it. I get that. But there seems to be a continuous trend of treating the Chicago Bears as though they're mentally challenged. And I think it's weird. And I think Poles has been a garbage GM, and I think it should be addressed as such. I think when Justin Fields was garbage, it should have been addressed as such. It never was. Still to this day, I don't remember hearing anybody own up to it and say, you know what, I was wrong. I bought into the hype train. I continually said it was everybody else's fault. I talked about it over and over, and I didn't know what the heck I was talking. I was caught in this trance. I treated him like he was mentally challenged. Like, oh, yeah, I mean, he can't throw, but he's doing a swell job. He's really a swell guy, and he's got a great physique, and he's so fast, and he's so talented, and he's all these things. I just can't find it from within me to say negative things. And we're continuing to do that. I thought maybe it would change. I thought maybe people would look at it and go, holy crap, we were stuck in this weird psychosis, and I don't know what happened, and I'm really sorry, but now I'm out of it because he's gone, and the spell is broken, and that's not the case. We just pick up where we left off with Caleb. And again, it's not just Bears fans, which you could almost understand. It's your job to be excited as a Bears fan. I mean, I would think you'd be a little bit more cautious, but fan how you want to fan. But for the national media, after you just got absolutely embarrassed by Justin Fields, by hyping this team up, hyping up Poles, hyping up all the different coaches that they've had over the years, hyping up everybody, all the wide receiver talent that they're going to have. Oh, man, it's going to be so good. You keep doing it over and over and over again. And yet, where are we? Right back where we started. You would think you'd take a little bit of a step and pause. And again, I get it. One side got royally screwed because the quarterback sucks. So you're seeing a gap there between a team that's probably going to be good or better and a team that is, probably going to suck. Anyways, why don't we take a quick break right here? We'll come back and I will give you an example of something that maybe rather than, praising, we should look at and say, this is a fully grown, functioning human being that is supposedly the best in the business, and maybe things should be better than this. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Again, I want to reiterate, there are 32 teams in the NFL. That means there are 32 head coaches. Out of the billions of human beings, and even if we just, bring it down to America, there are hundreds of millions of people that potentially could take this job. And so there's a level of expectation when you are one of 32 in the world that can do certain things. You start to picture like a James Bond of NFL coaching. Like these guys are just, it's unbelievable. I mean, they can do things that seem superhuman in a way. Here is the superhuman Chicago Bears head coach. I don't know what he's doing, to be completely honest. I don't know if he's trying to rouse his team or coach or teach his team something or get philosophical. I don't know. Let me play it, and let's see if we can figure out what the heck is going on here.
Winning doesn't make you a winner. Losing doesn't make you a loser. Winning habits makes you a winner. Losing habits makes you a loser.
Okay. Oh, so a little hard to hear, but he says winning doesn't make you a winner, and losing doesn't make you a loser. Winning habits make you a winner. Losing habits make you a loser. It was actually relatively easy to memorize that, just pretty much off the top of your head. You can get that one down pretty quick. I don't know how long he stood in the mirror and stared at himself trying to come up with that frickin' thing. Few problems. Number one, really frickin' lame, right? I mean, just you got to go watch it, and just also along with that, look at his facial expressions, and he really feels like he's nailing this. It's hard to illustrate it without looking at it, but it's frickin' brutal. Bigger issue behind the fact that as a motivational speaker you suck is that's stupid. That's actually really stupid. And it's funny to sit back and just be like, he said a stupid thing. People say stupid thing. He's not just a person, though. He is an NFL head coach. He's preparing a speech for his team, and he comes up with winning doesn't make you a winner. By definition, if you win, you are a winner. That's what winning is. So here's the bottom line. Look, there's winning habits, there's winning, and then there's being a winner. There is I don't even want to say loose. Let's just say there is a strong correlation between winning habits and winning, right? And then because of that would make you a winner, but it's the winning part that makes you a winner. The winning comes first. You have winning habits so that you win, and if you win, you're a winner. But there is a 1-to-1 correlation between winning and being a winner. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's weird how hard it is to explain something so stupid. Conversely, with losing, if you have losing habits, let's say habits that promote losing, let's call it eating Cheetos and pizza and chicken wings and watching movies, things like that, instead of training and whatnot, having losing habits, will cause you to lose and therefore be a loser. But it absolutely makes no sense to say that losing doesn't make you a loser. It literally does. And the only thing that those habits do is get you to the point of winning or losing, which is what designates you as a winner or loser. Is everybody on board with me here? I understand what he's trying to say in a sense of if you want to win, you need to have winning habits. I get that. But if you have losing habits but still win, sorry to tell you, coach, you're still a winner. You know, it reminds me of those frickin' math teachers in middle school and high school who are like, here's how you do math, and so now do math. But you have to show me how you did it to prove that you did it the way I said it. And then when you solve it a different way, they're like, nope, that's wrong. It's like, Biatch, you're wrong. This is right. It's literally the same answer you came up with. And she said, well, you didn't do it the way I said to do it. It's like, I don't give a crap, you moron. There are more than one ways to do these things. I figured out how to do it a different way that made sense to me. I did it. I answered it. It's correct. Just because the method is different doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong. That's what we're doing here. Well, you have losing habits, but I won. Yeah, but the habits are bad. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. You cannot say I lost. Listen, if your team has winning habits and you go 0-17, are you a winning team or a losing team? You're a losing team. You're a bunch of losers. You know why? Because your habits don't freaking matter. Whether you win or lose is what matters, which directly contradicts what you just said. This is so stupid. There's not a single person that I saw on social media when I posted this that was like, really? Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, yeah. Everybody, it's so painfully obvious how stupid that is. And again, we have a James Bond of coaching here. This is a brilliant, not just a decent, this is a brilliant wizard of a human being. If you could, you know, if magic was real, this guy would be a spellcaster. You know what I mean? He's up there. The upper echelon of knowledge of all things football. But not only that, it's not just football. He's a head coach. He knows how to motivate. He knows how to get his guys going. And this is what you got? This is the team that gets treated with kid gloves. This is the team we have to praise. In fact, there was an article I saw that was actually kind of hilarious that said something to the effect of, I don't know why the Bears have been pushing back on this because it's a very flattering first episode. I'll be honest, I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it. But it's like, it's a flattering episode because of clips I've seen. These guys look like morons. And again, believe me, I understand why you would think this is a mentally challenged group of people. I get it. I know why you think Caleb has some mental disorder. I can see why you would think their head coach has a mental disorder. I have no question as to why you would think Ryan Poles has a mental disorder. I understand that. But you have to remember they don't. And so you don't need to treat them as though they are mentally challenged. You don't need to treat them like little children, even though they have the decision-making skills of 9-year-olds. You don't have to treat them as such because, believe it or not, they're getting paid a lot of money to be experts in their field. And if they do non-expert things, they should be treated accordingly. It's very simple. Here's the article, by the way. Chicago Sun-Times, Bears' longtime avoidance of Hard Knocks looks silly after favorable first episode. Okay, sure. Anyways, felt good to get that off my chest. I think I'm going to leave it at that. We could add some more stuff, but let's end on a high note or a low note or whatever, a negative note. It's how we should end every show, on a negative note, just something really mean. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day. Pretty sure there's no practice tomorrow, but what the heck do I know? I guess those are just open practices, which I couldn't give a crap about if it's open or not, as long as the media is allowed there. But whatever, I don't know. But we'll have a day off. We'll have some fun. We'll talk about some stuff, and then we got the game again. Live stream. It's going to be there, so come hang out with me. Talk to you later. Have a good bye-bye.